All right. I am going to try this again. I'm giving it a few extra minutes just so it can try to kick in, and so we'll just share the video again. Try to see if anyone can get it together. Thank you so much. Let me know how well you can hear. Hey, Angela. Thanks for coming back. Let's try it again. Let's see how well it works this time. All right. Hey, Queen. Thank you so much for coming back on. And let's try it again. I'm going to delete that first one. We're going to start over. How well can you hear me? How well can you hear me? And so, back in business, good. Back in business, great. Trying to make it good. But when we deal with technology, we go through these types of changes. Guess what? Things happen. Things happen. But I'm a firm believer. Let's roll with the punches. Let's keep it moving. So, earlier I was defining, I started out by asking the very first question, what classifies a woman as a queen? What classifies a woman as a queen? Angela answered it, Queen. You can add your feedback in here. Ladies, share with me. Hey, Jessica, thank you so much for joining. What classifies a woman? We're going to start back over with just answering that question. What classifies a woman as a queen? How would you define her? Would you know what a queen is? Would you know what a queen is? What classifies her as that? Oh my goodness. Ladies, I heard someone say today that this is such a cool community. That's great. You make it great. So, but we want to know what classifies a woman as a queen. Are you a queen? Queen bee. Her dignity and level of respect. All right, good. You know, is it that crown that we're always talking about? Is it that crown? Don't even know. But again, the definition that I pulled two of them. It states the wife or widow of a king, a female matriarch, a woman eminent in rank, power, or attractions, a goddess or a thing personified as female and having supremacy in a specific realm, an attractive girl or woman, especially a beauty contestant winner. So when I pulled that, okay, Angela, thank you so much. I appreciate that. But the two things that I pulled about, you know, what defines a woman as a queen, I looked at dictionary.com and Merriam-Webster. I did go to the Urban Dictionary because it you know, you can get a little bit more of the African American culture perspective of it, but it did not radiate to the female being as a queen. It was some other form of definition. So I really wanted us to just sort of talk about it and look at it, because this came from not Jessica, but from Tiffany Jordan. And so Tiffany Jordan had the question, you know, what you know, why do women not know, and I'm paraphrasing, Mika can shoot this over, why do women not understand that they are queens, or why do they not see themselves as a queen? And so, you know, is that limitation there because we don't know what a queen really is, or is it just a title? You know, is it just something that we throw around? Like I say, that post that comes up, you know, be the type of queen that fix the other queen's crown. I do it quite often. So what is it that defines a person as a queen? And that's what we're going to be breaking down tonight. You are a queen of hearts. Love it. Thank you, Angela. You know, every woman in the Facebook community here, I believe, they have the characteristics of what I define personally as one. Hey, Mirror, thank you so much for coming back on. Being nosy to see if I'm just still testing out my equipment. Angela, I just sent you a come on. I'm sending a request to you to see if you can come on. There should be a notification that's coming over. Press that button, but your phone has to be in the horizontal position. It has to be the long way, not the up and down. Like if you're holding it in your hand and it's up and down so you can see, you can't be on there. Amira says, impress myself. Thank you, sis. Yeah. Queens are, I love what the Proverb woman, and that's what I had left off on. I love what the Proverb 31 woman classifies when King Lemuel's mother was defining what he should look for in a woman. Okay, Angela, it declined. So I'm assuming it is your phone. I don't know. When we get together in church before they service start, we're gonna play around with it, okay? And that way I can see what's going on with your phone. But I believe that we as women, when it comes down to being that queen, I don't think that she's the person that should be home, should be settled waiting for something to be served, because if you heard me earlier, when I broke down queen, the definition of queen based off of Proverbs 31, the Proverbs 31 woman, she was doing things, she was very active, she was making purple, she was selling purple, she was buying fields, she not only took care of her community, her servants, she also took care of her family. So she took care of her family, she took care of her servants, she provided things, and she was a very strong, hard businesswoman. So if that is the case, does the queen mindset, the mindset of a queen, equate to more than just a name? So what do you think, ladies, on that? Hey, Shantia, thank you so much for joining us. Shantia, are you on your phone or are you on your laptop? Share with me on that one. Angela says we have a new definition now. Okay, tell me what that new definition is, Angela. What do you think? As far as with that, is that a yes, Shantia? I don't know who that blue hand was. But if you are, Shantia, I'm gonna send you a quick invitation to come on. Let me see if you are on here. Shantia, yeah. I'm still playing around with this. So Shantia, if you are, your phone has to be in the horizontal position. Press this in, you'll have to accept my invitation and your picture will come up. But hey guys, Angela, what is that new definition of queen? Sorry, it declined you. So I don't know if it was your phone or me. But what is that? Hey, I'm on my phone. Okay, if you are on your phone, make certain that it's turned the horizontal way. Like if you hold it up like this, in the long way, so that way we can check it out. I'm trying to see if I can bring you in on here. I sent you another one because I like that conversation part. It just brings in. So again, ladies, should all women be affirmed as a queen? Why or why not? Should all women be affirmed as a queen? We talked about this earlier in that first session that just messed up. So should all women be affirmed as that? Merging that with question number 2, because I got that when I was thinking about, I've only heard African American women define themselves as queens. Is that the case with you? So should all women be outside of the African American community? What about the Caucasian? What about the Hispanics? What about the Asians? Should other cultural women be defined as queens? And what is still emerging, number 1 in there, what makes that person a queen? So we're looking for that answer to those questions as far as with that. So what is your primary thought to that? Because I have a very juicy one. All right, Mika is watching. Hey, Mika. Thank you so much for joining us. Please share the videos and invite your friends because, again, I want this to be a good, thought-provoking conversation. We use the word queen in the African community so much. what creates, what is that perspective of the word queen? What is the perspective of that word queen? Going back to all the things that I broke down. If you are texting and you are trying to get out a lot of info, you know how head dump, all the information that's inside of your head, and you're trying to put in a long answer, hit your microphone and press, and then speak it in. I'm going back. I'm going to try to see if Jessica's still here. Nope, Jessica's not on here. So she left off. So I'm still trying to play around with this thing. I want to not be the only person in the hot seat. So, so I'm inviting people. And so that's what I'm trying to see. And then to see if I can still hear the voice. But not outside of that. Angela says, okay, you're here. Okay, it didn't pop up. It didn't show your name. I was trying to bring you in. I'm gonna try again. Angela says, queens are women who know, make ends meet. Black women in Africa are considered queens, so we are queens. Okay, your connection is bad. That's why, because I didn't see a little add-on box. Sorry about that. Based off of what has been shared with us in our history, we come from tribal descent, Africa, brought over as slaves, and our positions were, to a certain degree stolen from us. One of the things that was shared Friday in our entrepreneurial class, the new business center that opened up on my campus, one of the things that was shared, we talked about how African American women, Latino women, we have been an entrepreneur for years. When you think about it, when you think about your mother, my mother, the women of old that we grew up with, they not only provided, they not only took care of the family, they had little side hustles. And when I look at the women from my end, my mother was an extraordinary seamstress. She could press hair, and Lord knows, a great cook. But she had multiple talents, and those talents were used to make ends meet. And those talents were also used to barter with each neighbor, with the neighbors. Okay, so to define a queen based off of how those ladies carried themselves, I can see that. So, tell me, what do you think on that? Is that the same, do you look at it from the same perspective? Because that goes back to the Proverb 31 woman. Those hands were busy. They were making things. They were cultivating. Several women in my family were not allowed to work. But, they wanted their own little money. And so that's how they got their money. And so, and like I said, I see my grandmother, out in the pea field doing things, picking peas and cotton and all that stuff. And so she used that. But then also, she went fishing. She bartered the fish she caught. So, what about you and the ladies that you grew up with? Would you classify them as queens? And so, women that I know of that are Hispanic, they basically, I have from my interaction with my friends and all, I believe that the Hispanic women and the African American women they sort of mirror one another. They mirror one another. You can cross-check me on it, but that's just my belief based off of conversations, activities, different things that we've done together. And so, but I do believe that Hispanic women mirror African American women to a great degree. And so, and you will find that those two. But when we talked about this in the entrepreneurship class, the conversation became, why isn't there such a limitation of Caucasian women starting their own business? It's easy to find African American women trying to create some type of business. and they had side hustles. They did all of these things, but not the Caucasian woman. So that goes back to the queen part. That's why I asked the question, should all women be affirmed as queens? You know, what classifies a woman as a queen? And is the African American woman the only culture that can be a queen? You know, those combinations sort of go hand in hand, I believe. And so that gives us a little bit of an illustration. So type it in. I'm going to move on to the next question because I think I beat that one to death. And number 3, I think Angela answered it so many times. How does a queen carry herself? She's answered that question quite a bit. Going on to number 4, does identifying oneself as a queen help define your identity, or does it create overconfidence? Does using the word queen, classifying yourself as a queen, does that define your identity? Does that define your identity, or does it create an individual, an overconfident individual? Share with me what you think about that. Angela says they knew how to make ends meet. We were poor, but our mothers and grandmothers taught us how to carry ourselves like queens. Yeah. But now, Angela, I'm going to piggyback off of that one, because they taught us to carry ourselves with major class and dignity. If your parents and grandparents were anything like my grandmother, my mother, my aunts and my aunties, great aunties, we couldn't walk out a particular way. You know, we couldn't, like last night I went to Walmart and it's like every other person had a head cap on in pajamas. You know, that's a major no-no in my family. That would have been a major no-no, you know, in how we carried ourselves. But you know, back then, you know, you had to be dressed, the hair had to be combed. You just didn't walk out your front door any particular way. So, you know, tell me what you think about that. Amir says no. It will help when feeling sad. Okay, so it is a self-esteem booster. Is that correct, Amira? What is that what you're saying? Renee said that was a different generation. This one, not so much. This one is, and you are correct. It was a different generation and a different day and time and a different form of standards. But now you have, but when I look back, thank you, Mira. But when I look back on it, it instilled a form of pride in self, that you did not have to have a title to define you. Okay, to me. So is that the case? And you know, and Renee, go back and share with me what is it that falls into that category to where, you know, and maybe I'm not saying it right, but you know, what is it that this generation is looking for? Do this generation have to have some form of crutch to create that form of self-pride, or what? Jessica said, I agree with you. I was raised by all women, mom, aunt, and grandmother, and I know they went hard. They went hard on us. Multiple jobs, working late hours. I saw that drive and to provide, point blank, period. And yeah, and trying my best to be just like that. Now, yeah, that was, they had something that was just, you know, they were powerful women. They were powerful women, and I'm going to say we are, you and I are standing on the shoulders of those women, and I definitely would classify them as queens because I believe that they epitomize that Proverb 31 woman a little bit more so, to the point that not only did they do those things, but they supported one another. So is it, based on today's standard and millennial views, is the queen, you know, I don't see the queen. I don't see the word queen being epitomized in a format of support. I see the word queen being epitomized in the format of serve. You serve me, I demand and you serve. I demand and you serve. Do you see that from the same perspective? Or am I out here on this boat by myself? You know, it's sort of like the word boss. We have gone wild now. Yeah. You know, it's sort of like the word boss. If you notice, and those that are close to me know that I don't like the word boss. I really don't like the word boss. If you take the time to look up the definition of boss, a boss is a person that dictates, but a leader guides, teaches, instructs, elevate, uplift, strengthen, but a boss is a dictator. A boss yells and screams. A boss degrades. And to a major degree, the word now was, hey, I'm a boss. I'm a boss, and we're proud about that word boss. I'm a queen. We're proud about that word queen. But words are very strong and they're very valuable. So so when we start using these words, is it a self-esteem booster? And are we saying that we are this because we have low self-esteem? Are we saying it because we need to pump ourselves up for a moment? Or do you believe what you say? And do you epitomize it? Because character and the way you walk and the things that you do and how you do it supposed to radiate. And when you radiate this, you don't have to be defined. So am I too deep? And guys, you have to go. This is how this brain is so scrambled at times, because I get so, like my daughter sent me something this evening. I'm not going to say it over here, but when she sent it to me, I'm like, what? I'm going all over the place. And my daughter's like, okay, how are you looking at it? What do you do? We're going through it. And so I had to talk it out, And so she was looking at it from, hey, Mom, this will be a great exercise. And I'm thinking, shoot, if I show all of this, I might have people falling out on the floor and this and that. And, I might have to throw some holy oil over this situation. So in the same perspective, thank you for the response. I see you, Angela. I see you, Cynthia. So, in the same perspective, is this what we're thinking? Is this how we're using that word queen? Is it a crutch to help us to boost ourselves up instead of defining true me? And when you walk out in confidence. You walk out in your abilities. Everybody that's on here, you have great talents, and I'm going to throw it out here. Angela's a teacher. Jessica, Zumba instructor. Queen Woods, communications major, pounding in Alabama. Shantia, attorney. Mika, Renee, Amber. One's a nurse, not a nurse. One's medical specialist. One's a Navy specialist. One's an IT. Those are your gifts and talents, and that's something that God put into you, because that drive was pulling all of these things out of you. Now, you may not have went into this field intentionally, but there was something that orchestrated your life that put you on a pathway. And it was that pathway that helped to define that true inner me, the true inner me that's in me. And so when we wear these titles, the title does not define the me, the I am, the me myself. Am I like, do you get what I'm saying? So that's my teaching lesson for it. I think I'm way out there in left field. I'm all over the place, but what do you think about that and stuff? So, because I'm about to go to the last one before we chime out of here. So, as I use the analysis of the queen and the boss, what about that glorified word that both men and women use that is so degrading? That big letter B. You can add the definition. That 5-letter word, that big B that has those. I don't like it because I was classified as it too much. I don't like it. But, what about that word? The glorified B can, that is also to a certain degree personified as a queen. Okay? Miss Greer, where have you been? How are you, my sister? Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I didn't know you were in here, but thank you so much for joining us. Miss Greer says, there is so much I want to say. We need to have a round table, guys. I want to say, I can't find the mic on my phone. But this generation has missed a mark. I believe that you don't hear queen now because there's too much of worrying about looks. There's too much worrying about looks and putting each other down. My grandma and her generation held each other up. They helped each other in every way. We don't help each other now. This topic is so, wow. That's a hand clap. That is a hand clap, Miss Greer. You are on point. And that's what I said earlier. Because, I know Tiffany used this platform all the time, and I know her reasons for using it. And it is a good reason. It is a very, very good reason. And she do it in order to get women to see themselves better. She does not mean it in a bad way. She wants each of us to see ourselves from a better perspective. I use the mindset, and so because I'm always thinking analytical, and because I know that you and I define ourselves through so many other different perspectives, instead of looking inward, we look outward, and that it's that outward appearance that shield us from seeing the inner me. And when you see that inner me, all of that other stuff is irrelevant. All those crutches are irrelevant. Angela says they look out for their kids and all kids. Yes. Yeah. That's what my mother was big on that, guys. When I say she looked out for the neighborhood kids, good Lord. My mother always had a yard full of kids. Always, no matter what neighborhood she would be in, always had a neighborhood full of kids. And she always kept candy. She kept Kool-Aid, and to make certain that they were well taken care of. And so, she supported so many people. My sister and I talked about this because we talked about the fact that she just lost her best friend. And so as she and I was talking about it, she was talking about and she said, Susan, do you know the biggest lie, the biggest liars, the day that the biggest liars come to church? And my sister's crazy. She be throwing some stuff at you, and you be like, what do you mean? The biggest liar, the day the biggest liar comes to church. She said, whenever there's a funeral, the biggest liars should always show up, and they the first one that want to stand up and preach you to heaven and talk about what type of, how good you are and how much of a friend they were to you. And so we got on that conversation. And so I told her, I said, you were so right. You're so right. That people come up and they just start, blasting all of this positive stuff when really in your heart you weren't even there for me. You don't even know who I am. You can't even relate to the me. And so that goes back to what we were saying about that word queen and how we define ourselves as a queen and stuff. So going to the last one, the glorified B. Can this be personified, exemplify a queen? Now, we're going back to the millennials on this one, guys, because, again, millennials classify themselves as bees. Millennials classify themselves as queen or queen bee. I got to throw my hands up in this. Y'all may have to help me out on this one, guys. You may have to help me out on this one. I don't know. It's so much out there. Yes, now if you tell someone about their children, they are ready to fight you back. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Then you get punished, and then you get punished at home. There are no teamwork. So now the white, the white, let me go back, the white. So now the white's going to respect us when we don't. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Exactly. 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 I'm gonna be nosy and try one more time. I gotta get my butt off of here. Nope. We ain't be. Nope. Nope. Nobody but a mirror. But yeah, that is so true. That is so so true. And if I could, and I think if I could get women to, identify, to tap into that person and stuff, we wouldn't need all of that. There'll be a lot of things we really would not need. And so, and that's that kicker that we fall into. But yes, I guess we should have started, dash that first video really quickly and start it all over again, because now, it's a very good conversation, and it's very hard, like Miss Greer says, this topic here is so broad. There's so much that, so many different angles that you can go, because I know when I first read it earlier today, I was like, wow, we can look at it from this perspective, we can look at it from that perspective. That's fine. That's okay. Because I'm still curious, is it just African Americans that are classified as queens, or can all women be affirmed as queens? Can all women? I know Mika said yes, all women are queens. And I do think we are queens. Even though I'm coming down hard on the word, the key factor for the word is not allowing the word to define you. I believe all women are queens. I use the word beautiful. I use that word beautiful intentionally. That is a form of a crutch, but it's an intentional crutch, because I want women to number one, when you think about yourself and you think about your life, I want you to think about the fact that, guess what? There's something beautiful inside of me. I may not feel beautiful at the moment. I may not even look beautiful at the moment, but I am beautiful. So therefore, when you look at it from that perspective, the word beautiful is not defining you. It's only accenting you. It's just like what I posted today about the jewelry, because all week I have been going nonstop. But, and I was like, God, these earrings, the pearl earrings, and this little bun has been my saving grace all week, because of how much I've had to roll. But what I looked at was the fact that one of my Toastmaster friends said, hey, it's not the outfit that you wear that, define your look. It's the accessories, so it's sort of like that. When I put a word on, it's supposed to, accent me, not define me. Makeup should accent the features that God gave me, not define me. You see, so that's the point that I'm trying to make. So, what do you think? Angel say, I saw a young other today, a young person other today with a new baby, and I told her to cover her baby up before she get yeah. She looked at me like I was crazy. Exactly. Exactly, Angela. You Angela don't know what you're talking about. She's the mom, and she knows what that baby's supposed to have. So you don't need to tell her anything. No, thank you, ma'am. I really appreciate that. I'll do that. What is colic? Is there something I need to be looking for? Is there anything else you can share with me to help me to be a better mother? You know, is that? Um, Ms. Mika Greer says, I think the word was taught more to us because we are picked on because we are Black women. All of our lives, we have to continue to tell who we are. Yeah, yes, I do. That we basically what I believe, and I'm taking this from, if you have never ever seen Sarah Bartman, and it's Baartman, Sarah Bartman. YouTube it after we get off. I don't know how long the video is, but you may have to look at it tomorrow. But when you look at Sarah Bartman, it shows you a definitive of how Black women were perceived. And it was like we were put on display. And so therefore, the degree of a Black woman will cause other women to feel major insecurity. The degree of a Black woman will cause other Black women to feel a degree of insecurity. And I don't know why. I don't understand why. And so, but when you break it all down, it all boils down to that. And so, we feel like we, and to a degree, it's like they, Caucasian women were looking at the fact that, when we go back to slavery, what the plantation owners did and how they did it, and all of that insecurity that was built up in Caucasian women. And so it's a major history lesson, but it all boils down to, I believe that because of who we are and how we are, we were degraded and treated as less than, because we could carry ourselves from an aspect that is, of higher degree, but we haven't quite grasped that we are that person. And so that's where that limitation is coming in at. But I don't believe that the word queen, the word be, all of those things that are crutches are going to get us there. I think it's the self-defining, and then once you self-define yourself, you articulate it and make certain that whomever's around you I am. Okay. I see a lot of conversations. Glad about that. Shantia says, I agree with Angela. It seems to be generational. The younger people don't want to hear, will not accept any words of wisdom or help. Exactly. As a matter of fact, you're going to have to practically fight them. When you tell someone, and it's an everyday thing, when you share with someone something positive, you're practically going to get that stumping, that anger, that head, spinning and all that craziness. And before saying, oh, okay. And even if you don't agree with someone, just say, okay, I don't know. I'm going to try this. I'm going to think about it. I've not heard that. It's all in your delivery. Amir says, just like a Black man in the early 20th century called them slut cells man, we call ourselves queen. Okay. Thank you, Amira, for sharing that. I wish I can get this mic. I wish I could get this mic. I went in to try to see if I could add you, but you weren't even showing up, Miss Greer. So that way you could do, hey, Dawson, thank you so much for joining us. Black women are beautiful, and we have that something that other race won't. Sorry, yes, we do, and it is a blessing. It is a blessing that we have that, and some to great extent, some not. But no matter what the case is, my thing is that I would love for us to see that beauty inside of us and to know that we have this, and it was given to us, and we don't have to accentuate it with any other connotations to bring it out. It's already there. It's already there. But yes, I did try to go in and pull Miss Greer so that way she could join in, because I know, like I say, when you have a lot to say, it's like I want to say this, and so I'm gonna have to message Tiffany and tell her thank you so much for this topic. It was really good. It's really good. So I think I'm gonna check one more time to see if she's in here. Nope. I don't know. I don't understand that, but it's not showing you, Miss Greer. I'm sorry. But oh God, y'all, it's 10:18. So any closing remarks from anybody? that you want to say before we chime out of here? Because it's pretty late. We got church tomorrow. The lips, the hips, and the what? Yeah. Yes, we do. We definitely have it all. And so that's the extra. But when you think about it, I don't know if you are like I am. When I think about all the extras and trying to find clothes to cover it up, and that's a lot of work. That's a lot of work. And especially when the body's going all crazy like mine is doing right about now. It's like, Lord Jesus, really? So, and even when I was skinny, I still had difficulties because I couldn't find jeans to fit over my butt. So, the butt, the thighs, the legs, I couldn't get it together. I can get the top, but I couldn't get the bottom. So, that body just was all over the place. But yes, I think if I understand the way we have defined it or broke everything down, I we do believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we do believe that women are queens. It's just that the approach to what a queen is that crutch that individuals or millennials are using and causing that word to be misappropriated, I guess is the way to use it. I don't know. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. When we realize who and whom we are, we will be back. Yes, that is the factor. When we realize who and whom we are, that's when because as I shared earlier, remember Gloria Vanderbilt jeans? Yes. But I could not wear jeans till they came out with the chic, CHIC, the chic jeans. They were supposed to be defined based off the body form of a woman. So I didn't have that gap in it when they first came out. But going back to Miss Greer, one of the things that I pointed out was all of the talents that are on here, and you might have heard it or you may not, I don't know, because I didn't see you in here in the community. But women such as yourself, you have God-given talent. That's your music ability. I was talking about Angela, who's a school teacher, Queen's a communication major, Chantia is an attorney. So all of these individuals that are on here, you have talent, gifts and talents that your path directed you to. So yes, that's in there. Going back to Chantia, she says, I think it's important for us to see the value in ourselves as queens, as well as the value of others. This will help us build each other up instead of tearing each other. Yes! I'm going to take this quote, Chantia, and it's going to be on a morning inspiration. So I love that. That is so on point. Yes, let's wear our crown. Let's wear our crown as the queens that we are. And let's continue uplifting each other because our millennial daughters need to see how it's supposed to be done. Because even though we're still trying to teach them, we can't give up on them. We cannot give up on them. Their children need us. So yes, I love that. This is beautiful. Thank you guys so much. This was a good topic. This was a very good topic. Yes, be the crowd. So we all can get. Yes, Angel. We're not gonna pull them back down. We're gonna help you. We gonna lift them up. I love it. Hey guys, thank you so much. This is you really energize me. You just don't know how tired I am, but you really energize me. So hey guys, have a wonderful night. Be positive, encourage someone, be respectful. Remember that our Heavenly Father loves you, and so do I. See you guys in church tomorrow. Love you.